77th edition of the Trading Opportunities webinar. This is Nirav. Let me just check the microphone at my end first before I proceed with the actual webinar. Check the microphone at my end first before I proceed. Looks like the microphone is working at least. And one more time, let me see if the stream is going fine. Yes, so everything looks to be working as it should. And in that case, let's just quickly go ahead with the legalities here on screen. You can see, one second. Yes, so everything looks to be, yeah. And so here on screen is the legal disclaimer suggesting that all content presented here is for educational purposes. I'm not soliciting buy or sell. If you do go on to use the views presented here for your trading or investing, you yourselves will be liable for your profit, loss, or loss of profit. Right, with that out of the way, let's now head over to the quick introduction part. So guys, as you guys already know, my name is Nirav. I'm the admin owner of the website 50 Eyes Market Analysis, as well as the YouTube channel of the same name. And this is the series of webinars called Trading Opportunities. I've been doing these once per week, and so far we have completed 76 of these. In the last 75 webinars, we were able to capture 107 trades. Those new here should note that we go live every Friday at 2 p.m. GMT, 7:30 p.m. IST, and 10:30, I think, whatever, just convert it to your time zone from GMT. Right. So that is the way we have been proceeding. In this 77th edition, we will see what happened of the analysis we did in the 76th webinar. Right. Apart from this discussion on the webinar series, I'm also the author of the book Think with the Market: Secrets to Achieve 80% plus accuracy, which you can get a hold of via Amazon's Kindle platform. Lastly, before we proceed, I also have a track record of all the analysis and forecasts I've done over the years. Since 2016, 83.34% accuracy, 27, 87.5, 84.61, 84.88, 88.52, etc. So this is above industry standards, and that's why I always like to point it out before we proceed with the webinars. The way we will proceed is we will first of all go over the chart of Euro USD, followed by crude oil, followed by gold, S&P, and Nifty. And yes, guys, lastly, I should just point out that our Slack group is now available for public access. It is on request only mode. So if you are interested, you can send the request via the contact us page, 50s.com/contact us. I will probably talk about this a little bit more later on. So with that all out of the way, now let's head over to our first chart, Euro USD. And the last thing we discussed was that there was some unclarity because this market was not giving a proper signal. Let me just check the date. So last date was 11th of August 2023, and the price action was somewhere here when we made the discussion. So the discussion basically was that while the market had gone lower than this white trend line, it had not sustained lower, and then it had gone up again, and it seems to be having some support here. So there was a bit of unclarity. It was not giving proper signal in either direction. So the idea was basically wait and watch. What has happened over the days is that the market has gone back again below the trend line, and it is this time sustaining quite long enough for me to analyze this as an impulse in the downward direction. And the way I am seeing this market right now is a wave one down and a two up and three underway, right? So based on that, I have entered some short positions in this counter. The idea is that I will look to add more if the market gives us another pullback, like this is a lower degree one, this is a lower degree two, and then if it really does go through with this lower degree too, then I'll look to add some shorts here or maybe on the way down. But the whole idea is that this market has more downside remaining in the upcoming sessions, right? So this is the main idea that I have been playing with. At the same time, if the market is going higher than 1.09502, then I might perhaps close my shorts, because then there is another possibility that the count may be right, but what if this whole thing, one second. So yeah, as I was saying, the count may be right, but it is possible that this market is in for a bigger pullback. Let's just look at this market from this point of reference, what is this 1.1275 something. So it is also possible to think of this whole leg as a diagonal, in which case the correction will be much bigger, and I do not want to get stuck on the side when it's giving a bigger pullback. So that's my bias. While I'm short, I'm mindful of the variations that this market can give us. So long story short, swing perspective, I have a bearish bias on euro, and as I just discussed, my current main count is that this market is heading lower, perhaps for a bigger wave 3, and I'll be looking to exit if this goes above 1.09438. So that's about it for euro. Let's now head over to our next chart of crude oil. Yeah, by the way, guys, if you are in the live chat, you can also post in the questions if you have any. There it is, crude oil chart. So crude oil, let's see what's going on here. I have updated a few things here on this chart. Previously, my view was that more downside can be seen. I was assuming that this part was possibly continuing sideways. But let me just show you what this new count is instead of discussing the old one. So let's just go on it and see it from here. This is our point of reference. Price level is around 66.905, right? From here on, you can see that the market has gone up as an impulse, and we have completed the wave 3 of the same. So let me just draw the rough structure on the right hand side. So this is your first wave up, second wave down, and then the third wave is complete here. And we are now analyzing this wave 4, right? Now, the important thing is that wave 4 will generally retrace to the 38.2% retracement level of length of wave 3, which it has already done, as you can see over here, this blue line. And the market seems to be having a sort of support at the 38.2. That is, it did go lower than the level, but then again came back up and took a support on it. So as long as it sustains above it, I'm going to consider this count as the main possibility. And I personally will be looking to enter longs above 81.119. Right. In case I'm wrong, this will be the swing low will be the stop loss, or actually in this case it will be 79.582 will be the stop loss. Right. So that's the quick idea I have on crude oil. So short term bias is bullish, right? And stop loss as I just discussed. So I'll also like to take this opportunity to quickly show how things are progressing with our private Slack group. So as I said, I'm putting all my analysis and live trades in the Slack group, and as you can see, this is crude oil, and today itself I had posted a short a little bit before this webinar. about 2.5, 3 or something before this webinar. I did shorts and minimum target hit, book profits on shorts, etc. Similarly, I'm putting out trades on all the different instruments as well as my analysis here and posting them live. So far, we have had 0 consecutive losing weeks, right? So, in case you are interested, as I said, you can send your inquiries because we are currently in request only mode. So, you can send the request to join in via the contact us page 50is.com/contact us, and I'll make sure to get back and inform you on how you can proceed. So, that's about it for the private group thing. And now let's head over to our next chart. 1 second, it seems like there is a message. Philippe is saying good morning, or good morning to you, Philippe. And now let's head over to our next chart of gold. So gold, 1 second, one more thing I should just. So yeah, let's now discuss gold, which is also the thumbnail image for the webinar today. Now the thing with gold is that I'll actually discuss it from a higher time frame perspective. So first of all, let me just quickly switch. Oops, 1 second. There it is. Daily chart. So if we remove all the analysis, a few things that are quite clear are that this market is taking a clear resistance around 2070-ish level, 2070, 2074, 2080, whatever, somewhere near this level. It is taking absolutely clear resistance. Now our interest is that, or our primary analysis is that from this point of reference, we had an A down, B up, and C down. That is a correction completed here. The point of reference, which is at 1616 or 1614 something. So this is our point of reference. And from this point of reference, this market has then gone up as an impulse. So let's now quickly show that this is your first up, second down. So this is your quick impulse in the upward direction. Now the idea is that if the market is still bullish, now there are actually two things that can happen here. But I'm just going with the bullish idea first. The bearish idea is basically super bearish. It is that the whole thing, which was an impulse, has just completed, and this is sort of a failed fifth, not actually a failed fifth because it did go higher than the last high. But yeah, it wasn't substantial, so sort of a failed fifth here. But that would suggest extreme bearishness, which is not something I'm currently going on with. That is, let's say, our third hypothesis or something like that. Now, getting on with the actual idea, which I think is happening here, is that this market, if it is bullish, it has completed the first impulse up and is in a correction down. A correction will look something like a down, a B up, and a C down. So in that sequence, we have completed our A down here, probably the B up here, and most likely going down for the C here. Now, I would like to discuss that idea more in detail from this point, which is the high of 2077, roughly speaking. Let's head over to 4H. Let's see if that's enough. That should be enough for now. So the idea, as I just said, was that this market is in a zigzag kind of a correction. Should look something like this as I've drawn on the rough and right hand side. Now, as I said, if the A is complete here, then B may complete here, and it is also possible that this B is just going sideways, which is the idea I would like to assume is happening right now. I'll discuss the reasons in a bit. So if that is the idea, then that basically means that it can go down, up a little bit, and then give a proper impulse or a diagonal in the downward direction for a wave C. The targets we have already identified. The target minimum downside I'm looking is 1856, followed by 1846 to 1793, 94, 1847, 1794. So that is the main area which I think this market can go to if this count is correct. And that is the reason why I'm paying emphasis on the wave B continuing, because see, the more time a market takes by going sideways, as such, I think I should draw this like maybe it can go even up. So the more time a market takes going sideways, in this case as a wave B, the higher the length of wave C is supposed to be at. That is just a general principle I operate on. Just general observation. More consolidation leads to a bigger move. So going in alignment with that, I think that it will be appropriate to see it like that. And also our downside targets are not yet achieved. So keeping all that in mind, minimum target. So keeping all that in mind, I am of the view that gold I will look to sell all upside moves because I'm currently assuming they are pullbacks, right? And most importantly, this analysis will be relegated. That is, the downside will be considered either over or analysis incorrect in case we see the market going higher than this 1980 level, these highs if they are taken out. So that makes things very clear. Long story short, my bias is bearish and I will look to sell all pullbacks. Now let's head over to our chart of S&P's 500. I think I'm using this one. Something to point out here, which is a little bit out of the ordinary. Previously, I had assumed that this correction, which began around from 4817 level around 4th of January 2022, had ended here, right? However, this market has sort of behaved a little bit bearishly. So I'm going to discuss that bearish count in a little bit detail here. So my idea is that perhaps this is the A down, this is the B up, right? I'm just going with the zigzag analogy here again. And this could be the C down. Now again, this is a super bearish count, so I'm not saying that it is confirmed yet. But I could not find a better, what do you call, labeling for this leg down. This looks very bearish for some reason, unless it just reverses and takes out the high around 4480 something level, 80 90s level. I cannot relegate this bearish count. Now, so a few things to note here are, first of all, this B could still be continuing sideways, right? But it does look like it has completed the upside move, and I have also worked out the internals. This is the A up of the B is a triangle in cells, and then the C up of the B. So this wave B circle degree is A up, B triangle, and then C up. So that completes the bare minimum, which is basically a three wave move up. And if this bearishness or bearish count is correct, then at the very least, at the very minimum, we are going to see this market fall till this level of 4328. I actually did point that out in the private Slack group today. Let me see, where is that? So there it is. Where is this bearish count suggesting minimum downside movement till 4328. And when I pointed that out, the market was trading at 4346, right? So yeah, as I said, that movement is sort of not much the point, because that's it's already gone the opportunity to trade this down move. We could have gotten 20 or so points if you had checked in the private group, if you were in the group. But now I don't think we can play for that small move. So what I'm personally doing is I'm also going to wait and watch a little bit to observe this down leg. And for now, we can just have a look at it and see on the lower time frame if we can sort it out. I think I have discussed it here. Let me refresh the page so that it shows the latest count which I have done here. Mhm. Yeah, a few more things here. First of all, I was able to successfully capture multiple shots in this leg down. All of them were again posted in the private Slack group. But more importantly, from the context of things, it looks like I have already worked out some sort of support region here. 38.2 has already been taken out. Looks like our next support region will be, it's already in there between 4372 to 4229, or let's say 4230. But I will have to double confirm it later on. As far as the counts are concerned, since it has gone way below 38.2 level, oh yeah, actually, this was a short I captured. The market reversed from this 38.2 retracement and went down. So this is the leg, or part of this leg is what I captured. Somewhere around 44.10 to lower levels. Now again, coming back to our current discussion, what's that? Yes. So see, it has already gone a lot lower than this channel, which is not something you would like to see if it was just a corrective structure in the downward direction. So at this point, we have to assume that perhaps this is a wave one down, a two up, and this is heading lower for a three. So in that sense, all corrections should be sideways, small, short-lived, and would lead to more downside movement. So basically, I'm at this point looking for any sort of sideways movement or pullback, and then a break to the downside on the after the pullback is complete or the correction is complete. In the sequence of things, counting things from a Elliott Wave perspective, this looks like we are just about to complete the wave three. That is, this was the one, this was the two, and this was the three. This is the three, right? If this count is correct. And what I'm really talking about is the impulsive structure in the downward direction. So now we will wait for this wave for correction, which can go sideways, perhaps even test this green trend line. So that remains to be seen. And once this correction is complete, we will look to trade the breakdown. Or if I can catch it near the trend line, taking resistance, or via the internal structures, then I'll look to add shorts before the breakdown. Right. So long story short, basically I am looking for sell trade opportunities here, but currently I'm not holding any short position on this counter. I'll see how the market progresses and update it accordingly. So that's about it for S&P 500. Wait and watch for short setups. One thing I should do here is, so this is our resistance at 38.2. This is at 23.6. So let me do it now. Yeah. So basically, if the market does give a pullback and if this is the end of wave three here, then the first resistance or the point of reversal is 4376 and the second is 4401, or let's say 4400. So around these levels, I will be looking for reversal. That's the major idea. If the market does go above 4400 and sustains above it, like something like this, if it does, then I think this count will be relegated and we will switch back to our bullish view. So that's about it for my take on the S&P's 500. Let's now head over to the next chart of Nifty 50. So Nifty, the market has sort of moved in accordance with what I was primarily thinking in our last discussion. The basic idea which I discussed was that as long as the market remains below this green trend line, we are going to assume that the market is bearish, right? And if it's bearish, then pullbacks become selling opportunities. So did I not update it here? Yes, only the Y had to be removed. Yes, so pullbacks become selling opportunities. So here I have a little bit of an update on the count. From this POR or point of reference around 19994, roughly speaking, we may have a W here, and it looks like an X may have completed either here or it's probably continuing sideways. Both possibilities exist. But whatever the case may be, if it's continuing sideways, if it is complete already, it is having one leg down remaining for the wave Y. Now, wave Y will generally look like this, down, up and down. So basically there should be two waves down. That basically means at least one leg down is remaining. So if the X is complete here, then the wave Y will have an A down, a B up, and C down. So this is probably the A down, probably the B up, so probably the C down. So long story short, this market is due to give at least one leg down, which should take it lower than the last low of 19254. So it is a swing short kind of market. I'm pretty sure that it will give that leg down, but will I be able to catch it in intraday? That we will have to see in the next session, right? But overall, the minimum is working out as it should, and we are already near the last down leg or the last clear down leg. So that's about it for my quick take on Nifty. Let me also see one more thing if I have. Yes, some downside targets I have worked out. However, in this case, I'm not very sure if they will hold or not. Because see, in my understanding, the minimum downside target at this point in time is just the last low, which is 19 to 53. So let's just say 19 to 50 is our target. But if the market continues bearish movement, then our next target will be 19,164. These are the two targets to keep in mind on this counter when it opens in the next session. So yeah, that's about it for our discussion on Nifty. Now let's head over to our last chart of Bitcoin, which has given some very clear moves on the downside, and I was able to capture them as well. Why is it not showing my counts? So refresh. There it is. Some weird issue with TradingView. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's something to do with the browser cookies or whatever it is. I had to constantly refresh, not constantly, but time to time. If I have done major changes to the chart, I had to refresh to see them. So, anyways, Bitcoin, we were tracking it for quite some time without any clear trade. It had been sideways and unclear and more unclear. But, but, target hit, book profits, added shorts, more shorts, added minimum shorts. 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, 6 minute, 7 minute, 8 minute, 9 minute, 10 minute, 11 minute, 12 minute, 13 minute, 14 minute, 15 minute, 16 minute, 17 minute, 18 minute, 19 minute, 20 minute, 21 minute, 22 minute, 23 minute, 24 minute, 25 minute, 26 minute, 27 minute, 28 minute, 29 minute, 30 minute, 31 minute, 32 minute, 33 minute, 34 minute, 35 minute, 36 minute, 37 minute, 38 minute, 39 minute, 40 minute, 41 minute, 42 minute, 43 minute, 44 minute, 45 minute, 46 minute, 47 minute, 48 minute, 49 minute, 50 minute, 51 minute, 52 minute, 53 minute, 54 minute, 55 minute, 56 minute, 57 minute, 58 minute, 59 minute, Yeah, there it is. So yesterday I was able to capture short trades on BTC. Added minor short, stop loss this, target this. The market was trading at 28547. After that, I added more shorts, target hit, book profits, etc., etc. 28297 something. I exited. Let's say 28300. So that was the trade I captured on BTC, and after that, it is still following our count. Now, let's now head over to the actual counts now. So this is the current progression I think is happening on this counter. We are seeing an impulse in the downward direction. Currently, we are in the wave 3 of this impulse, and within the wave 3, we are pending the wave 4 circled correction. So once this correction is complete, one more down leg is due, which will then lead to more correction and then one more down leg. So long story short, I am thinking that this market may proceed something like this. So if you look at it, it's quite clear that I am assuming that two down legs are remaining, one here, then another one here. So if two down legs are remaining, and even if our count is not the most perfect count in the world, that means at least we are going to see one down leg, right? So more bearishness is pending on BTC counter. I personally will be interested a little bit once I see this wave 4 creating some sort of clear corrective structure. Of course, the market does not have to do it because look at the wave 2, it was very small, not that time consuming, neither that much clear, and sort of undecipherable if you look at the noise on the left hand side. So I'm not having very high hopes for a very clear wave 4. But yes, the strategy remains that if I do get a clear wave 4, then I can look for selling this counter for some shorts till, well, it has actually touched my target already, which was 27000. So next, I will have to sort out the clear targets, but I personally think that it would be somewhere within this range itself, 25300 to 24762. But as I said, I will have to check them later on. So yeah, that's the story for BTC. We wait for a proper corrective structure for adding more shorts. Short-term bias is bearish for now. With that, I have discussed all the major markets that we discuss in every single webinar. And before you guys leave, I would like to request you hit the like button and share, most importantly, share the webinar in your Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever groups you are having in your trading communities or whatever. Bigger reach is definitely required to continue doing these webinars. And lastly, if you are serious enough and would like to see more of this content, then you already know that you can contact me via the contact us page to get details for our private Slack group, which I have shown and discussed many times during the webinar, right? So with that, I would say we have discussed everything for the webinar, and I'll see you guys in the next one, guys. Take care.